my name is Eddy. On Instagram, it's Eddy B. I've started in business 5 years ago. Now I'm doing pretty well in M&A. M&A means mergers and acquisitions, mainly in the US. So I've been flying in and out of California. Gonna have to start going into Texas now too, because that's where we bought our most recent business. What do you mean? Give me money? Am I a fucking bank to you? Yeah. No, man. The relentless mindset always has to come from the upbringing that I had, and it wasn't pretty. It was deep and it was lonely. It was, a lot of people would say it was hopeless. Be a high value man, yeah, build his body, build his financial status, build his connections. It's grind every single day, waking up at 6. We're so obsessed that other people would be like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Visionation Success Stories podcast. Today, my guest with me is Eddy. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. How's it been today? Where have you come from today?
I've come from London, so I took the train all the way to Birmingham just to see you.
Oh wow, that's a privilege, man. Thank you. So yeah, let's get right into it. So for the viewers who don't know who you are, what exactly are you about? What is your background, introduction, basically?
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, my name is Eddy. My on Instagram is Eddy B. I've started in business 5 years ago. Now I'm doing pretty well in M&A. M&A means mergers and acquisitions, mainly in the US. So I've been flying in and out of California. Gonna have to start going into Texas now too, because that's where we bought our most recent business. Damn, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I'm 25 and I'm still young and hungry.
Yeah, man, and you are quite relentless as well, like we've been talking about earlier.
Yeah. I guess the whole relentless mindset comes from the environmental status, innit? Like where we come from and what the situations we get put, the cars we get dealt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just got this relentless mindset to never stop. I mean, every time I have a day off, where a lot of people tell me to have a day off, I just feel like shit. I can't sit there doing nothing, or even watch Netflix. I find that really hard.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I watched Netflix on a plane flight or on a train journey today because I didn't get any Wi-Fi for my laptop. But I hate staying still. I have to keep moving. I have to get something sorted, and especially in the business that I'm in M&A, there's always something to get sorted. And I guess the whole business industry of M&A is a very old model. So there's always new systems that we can implement, that we can learn from the older generation, going into, I guess, our generation to improve and to make better, to make the process a lot smoother to how we work and how we buy businesses.
Yeah. So I guess, there's got to be some sort of obsession. A lot of entrepreneurs talk about obsession, and you got to be a little bit crazy, you got to be a little bit obsessed. So let's dive a bit deeper into that. Tell us about your growing up. Where were you born?
Right. Yeah. So although I was brought up in London, I was raised. Jesus. I was raised up in Birmingham. What am I talking about? I was raised in London, but I was born in Lithuania. I think we came to London when I was 6. Now, the relentless mindset always has to come from the upbringing that I had, and it wasn't pretty. It was deep and it was lonely. It was, a lot of people would say it was hopeless. To tell a story straight, me and my mom grew up just us two. Dad wasn't around.
Same, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's another environmental status that you have to understand, that when there's no male figure in your life and it's just you and your mom, or you and your siblings and your mom, you have to gain that responsibility where you have to look after the female in the house. You have to become the man. Yeah. And when it was just me and my mom, that's the responsibility I had to take on when I was very young. And so yeah, we grew up in a very small town in Lithuania, and we were actually known as the poorest family in that town, which sucked at the time. But because I was a kid, I was like, I didn't really care. Now that I think about it, I actually went on Google Maps, like Google Earth, just to check out the house that I grew up in. It's horrendous. It looks like I come from the slums, basically, when all the houses around us were pretty nice. It was just our house, crooked and stuff. It was you have you ever seen the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
The newer version of it with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
You know that house that they grew up in? Pretty much like ours. I can come across as a very social person when I'm around other people. Where when I'm by myself, I can stay in my room, in my office, really, for hours on end, not talk to anyone, just head deep into my work. Yeah. And that's that. I prefer it that way, to be honest.
It's like tunnel vision, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Tunnel vision. I know what I'm doing. Don't distract me. No noises, no nothing. Just keep going. I've got an app on my phone called Opal that turns off all my social media. Okay. It actually tells me when I'm distracted the most and how many times I picked up the phone and how many hours I stay on my phone and all of this. So this definitely helped me understand how invested I am in social media on my phone in general. So yeah, that's where the solitude mindset comes from, and I guess that's where this obsession came from. Being by myself, my mindset is very clear as to the systems, the person that I need to be to get to the next level. Yeah. The systems that I need to set in my business and the life that I need to be living in order for me to get as far away from the low as possible. Yeah. And again, that relentless obsession, relentless mindset. My business partner call it. Now I completely went out of my head. We call it crazy obsession. We're so obsessed that other people would be like, this guy's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. How is he? Why is he still obsessed with this? Before we got our first business, I didn't get paid for 7 months. Yeah. So I was barely surviving. Again, survival mode. But I was like, okay, I'm still better than I was before. I guess that gratitude comes in, and gratitude, staying grateful, is everything nowadays, because you can get sucked up in this life so easily. So understand where I came from. The obsession came through. I was like, okay, I understand what I need to do to get away, and understanding the risks involved with business and dealing with certain people, which I had a handful of times dealing with nasty people. Mm-hmm. One of my friends mentioned to me, they were like, aren't you scared to lose it all? I'm like, no, because I know how the low is. Yeah. And I know I've been there. If I lost everything, that wouldn't be the low. I wouldn't be homeless. I wouldn't be by myself. I wouldn't be as wise and as mature as I was when I was young. And I know the keys to success and how to make it again, how to buy another business, whether it's small, whether it's big. I know the connections. I know what I need to do. I know the path. Yeah. So again, if I lost everything tomorrow, I'm cool. I can restart.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's about being grateful, to be honest.
Exactly, yeah, man.
And it's about making the impact on this earth that you want to see, that you want to change. Because at the end of the day, all that you have, you're gonna die one day. It's not gonna
exactly,
take you with you. As much money you have, as much status you have, you're just gonna be a memory. And then once you pass, people remember you for a bit, and then people move on in their life. That's just how life is. Yeah, people will move on. So you gotta remember, like as you said, if you lost everything today, you'd obviously, be upset, but
it's very upsetting. Yeah,
you'd be upset, but you carry on, you keep going, relentless.
Exactly, yeah,
relentless regardless of what happens.
It's, part of being relentless is also knowing when to switch off your emotions. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, my girlfriend actually said to me that I'm being harsh, not to her, but people around her, even to her sometimes as well. When we had some ups and downs, and when those downs come through, my emotions switch off. So I'm instantly starting to think of solutions. Starting to think logically. When you're thinking logically, emotions can never come in. Exactly. So switching on and off your emotions I think is a massive key to my success. At least I don't know, everyone's different. Mm-hmm. But the key to my success is knowing when to switch on and switch off your emotions. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, that's another thing, man.
Yeah. So going back to the point you made, so you was homeless for a bit and your mum came back. So then what happened from there? Like, so when did you come to London then?
So when I came to London, I think I was just about turning 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think, just about turning 6. I was fresh off the boat, you can call it. Yeah. I didn't have an understanding of English, or I couldn't read or write English, but I had a sense of what people were telling me. I think most of that came from like English TV that I had experienced like for a few months before going into school. Mm-hmm. School was terrible. I remember primary school. I was like the odd kid out. I was like the only foreigner because back then, especially in the area that I was in, everyone is English. Everyone knew knew everyone. Everyone had friends. Families were friends, and I was just like the only odd guy there. So I wasn't. I guess I was picked on, but that never really got to me. I learned English in 3 months, which is pretty good for a kid at the age of 6. But obviously we understand that when you're, I think from the age of 5 to like 9, you're basically a sponge, and you learn things very quickly. So that really helped. From that point, me and my mum were like just on survival mode, trying to get by. And I think only when my sister was born, how old is she now? 12. Yeah. And 12 years ago, that's when we started doing a lot better. Okay. I was 13 when she was born. We were doing a lot better. Yeah, man. After that, when we came back, it was a better life because we knew if we were there right now. Me and Mum actually speak about this. We're like, if we were stuck there, our lives would be completely different. So what I have now, every little bit, like me getting up in the morning whenever I want now, is a moment to be grateful for. My health, the ability that I can, just get up and make a coffee, the ability that I can get in a car or a train, a plane, fly across the world. Yeah. I'm so fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, and that's only because I just stayed relentless. That survival mode got me out of the shit. Yeah,
it's the opportunity that you like. Opportunity in this country that you have compared to that you don't have back home. Same for you, same for me. Yeah, it's not there because the countries are not to that level. No. So how was the change for you? Like, what was the thing that you noticed most or felt the most when you came from Lithuania to?
That's a big one, The culture here is a lot different. Where back then, a lot more racism was about. Even I'm white, they were still being racist to me because they're like, "You're not from here." Even my name, as soon as they heard my name, or my full name is Edgarus, so you can tell by that name I'm not from here, and they didn't like that. Every opportunity that I had in school or at work, even, they were like, "Nah, it's foreigner. Nah, that ain't it." So in the sense, there was a lot of would it be racial profiling?
It's just prejudice, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't the best, but like I said, I think me and my mom, we went into this sort of mindset where it was just me and her. What everyone else said about us, to us, what everyone done to us, it didn't really matter. It was just me and her, and no one can hurt us. Not as much as we could have back then. So that was the biggest difference.
Yeah, so trust, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
The trust between me and her is key to everything in my life. The person that I trust the most is her, and I promised myself when I was watching The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney Channel ages ago, man. When I was younger, I was saying to my mom, one day, I'll put you in a place like this where you don't have to worry about bills or cleaning or food or anything. You just stay there, live your life however you want to. And I've got the opportunity now. Okay. And that was like 15 years ago now. So, I mean, I put that out there in the universe and it just answered for me, innit? And that's another thing. Knowing how it is to be homeless. Knowing how it is to be, or to have nothing. I promised to myself, to my mom, and to God that if I ever got myself into a position that I've got myself in now, I always give back. Whether it's either opening up a charity for myself, because I'll be honest, I don't trust these bigger charities. Where I can set a charity, or an area where I can actually help people and I see the help going through. That'll be something I want to do. Or providing opportunity for a person that I know isn't doing well financially.
Yeah,
I can provide them an opportunity to do better in life, or where they're coming on with my business, or even helping people fund their own businesses, or business purchases. Even that's another thing I'm doing right now with a couple of people, and that's, I guess, is just to make myself feel better. But it's a promise. I guess it's a selfish thing to say, but it's also a promise that I made for myself that I will never go back on. So whether it's I'm a millionaire on paper right now, but if a person told me that, man, fuck, I'm struggling with bills right now, I'll be like, oh, hey, here you go, it's all good.
Yeah.
A few hundred, why not? But I want to see you put in some work. Like, as much as I can help people, I don't want them just thinking things just happen for them.
Yeah.
I want to see that work being put in and being like, okay, you got that mindset right now, so I'm going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I actually had one of our previous guests on the podcast. He mentioned how knowledge and education is so important. You might have seen the reel. It's on my Instagram. He's talking about, like, if I would rather give you education than give you £200.
Exactly.
£200,
Yeah.
Who knows what you're gonna go do with that £200? But if I give you the education, you can go and then make that £200 or more.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Absolutely.
If you give them £200, but you're also seeing that they're actually showing something for it, not just giving them the money, because then there's no like incentive for them to go and do something for themselves. It's about understanding why you're getting the £200 or why you're getting the money.
Exactly.
And then getting that education, because that's really important.
Exactly. In that sense, then I'll rather pay someone, like, once they show me that they've actually done something with the knowledge that I've given them. It's like give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day.
Yeah.
You teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That sort of sense. I mean, education is the most important thing. Like, knowledge is power, as people say. And I've given that opportunity for a lot of my friends that I'm working with now in regards to M&A. I taught them what it is, how to get around it, what it involves, the pressure it involves, the stress it has, and they're working with me now. The ones that actually gave up halfway, I was like, I gave you an opportunity. You could have made some money.
Yeah.
And it's those people that I don't really associate myself with.
Yeah. You can only help someone as much as they want it, basically.
Exactly, yeah. You
can keep helping them, but if you don't, then it's up to them. At the end of the day, it's always up to yourself to make whatever you can make out of yourself.
You know what? I can speak from experience. One of my best friends, I'm not going to mention any names, one of my best friends, I gave an opportunity to understand business. Even when I was doing property a few years ago, I was like, get in property with me. We can do this together. Or I can even teach you how to make a few more £1,000 a month. Gave him the books, gave him the knowledge, gave him my time and energy. Didn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. Is that sort of? It's a sense of, like, a sign of respect. If I've given you this, you do something with it. I'm like, okay, this guy respects me enough to understand that I put in a lot of time and energy into this to help him out. And if they don't use it, I'm like, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I've definitely
you're always gonna get those kind of people, though, because there's, it's not for everyone. The things that we do, it's not for everyone, but the people that do understand it are on the same wavelength, or on the same kind of mindset, they will grow into that. Or if they have it ingrained in them, which is the thing that we discussed, environmental. Or is it actually ingrained in you? So, what's your thoughts on that? have like, from your experience, and to be honest, like, how do you think the mindset comes for the relentless or the obsession? Does it come from genetics, or does it come from environmental factors?
Now I'm just gonna speak from experience. No one in my family is smart enough in business, and for them enough for them to make something out of them. So I would say it's mainly environmental because, like I said, from my experience, everything was survival mode. Everything is do everything to get away from what you didn't have before and understand what you want and work towards it.
Yeah.
But that small bit of the sun's right now. That small bit of genetics. That's the one. The small bit of genetics is definitely involved because my mindset of survival and relentless pursuit of something comes from my mum.
Yeah.
Because she had to sacrifice not being with me to get to a better life for us. And that obviously takes a lot of pursuit, a lot of relentless emotional switch off for you, for a person to do what they need to do. It's sacrifice, isn't it? So I would say 95% environmental, 5% genetics.
That's quite a high percentage, man.
For me at least, man, because like I said, maybe not actually.
Yeah.
Let me go back on that. I was saying, it's still gonna be high, man. I'm gonna say 90% of environmental, 10% genetics. Even though genetics is what we are as human beings, and the environment that we surround ourselves is what shapes us to be the person that we want to be. It's like if you hang around a bunch of losers for years and years, you're going to be a loser. Yeah. If you surround yourself with entrepreneurs, you're going to see the hunger. You're going to get a taste of that hunger. You're going to get a taste, maybe a smidge of that energy from that person that's constantly having the discipline, or constantly having to grind every single day to get to the next level. And you would have to start thinking like, maybe there's something in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, the saying is, if you're in a room full of, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room.
Exactly.
So if you're surrounding yourself with those kind of people, yeah. But the thing is, I guess from my perspective, I think I would say 80-20, but then
80-20.
I can agree. I can agree with 90-10 because from my experience as well, like environmental is like a big thing, and you can see when, let's say, you're straying away from that. Yeah, I close the blind a bit. When you're straying away from like the relentless bit, and you're maybe hanging around like the wrong people or stuff like that, you feel that change in you, and you feel like it's wrong. Like, you know what I mean? You feel it in you, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, or I should be doing something else. So I guess that's like the environmental. But even the thing is, even if it's not ingrained in you, if you, I don't know, come from a background where you're born into wealth, but your parents didn't go through the struggle. I don't know, like, how to explain that. Like, maybe your parents didn't, maybe it's not ingrained in the family, but they're just born into wealth. I don't know how that really makes sense, but
I know what you're saying. And this is a conversation that I had with my girlfriend. I was like, when we have kids, if we have kids, how are the kids going to grow up? Like, what sort of mindset do we want to ingrain into them to have the same sort of survival instinct to make something of them? I'm trying to make a legacy for myself, for my name, for the business that I'm trying to build, so I can have something for generations of my family, or for the people that are going to be working with me in the future as well. So what do you have to do, like, as a parent to ingrain that mindset into your kids when you're the one that grinded, you're the first millionaire in your family? How do you stoke that mindset into your kid?
Yeah,
I've got no idea.
What do you think?
Don't tell your kid that you're rich.
How can you not tell them you're rich? And then
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe if rich parents always say yes to the kids. That's where spoiled kids come from, in my understanding, and from my experience as well. So maybe saying no to your kid, and maybe making your kid understand financials and how money works and where it comes from. make them understand that we're grateful to be in this position, and you should take this opportunity to make something of yourself because you have a lot more opportunities, more wealth, more connections from your parents to become even bigger. Like you said, we had the conversation earlier. Some of these rich kids that are born in rich families do make something out of themselves. Some of them don't. Some of them just slack off thinking that this is my life. I'm good with it, man. And they just become instant Instagram famous because they're flying around the world. And I guess that's where Instagram money comes in, innit? Yeah. I don't know, man. In my mindset, I'll be strict.
Yeah.
In a sense that I won't let my kids have everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that, they'll be able to understand that they have everything. So they know the meaning of no.
Yeah.
And they know the meaning of I guess not being spoiled. Yeah. In that sort of sense. I don't know, man. That's a whole different subject.
Yeah,
that.
It's hard to ingrain that into them. But obviously you think about, I'm sure this is the same for you. Like I'll think, okay, so if I had kids and that thing you said, like not making them spoiled, and basically ideally, like I don't know if probably a lot of people don't agree with this depending on their experiences, but I'd raise them how my mum raised me, essentially. In the way that when I was growing up, she was like kind of strict on me, not in the way like harsh, but like I didn't get like money off her, stuff like that. I didn't get that kind of stuff. I didn't even have a phone till I was in like college or something. Like, but when I think, obviously at that time I was like, mom, like give me a phone. Like, why don't everyone has a phone in school and I don't have one? And it's like, oh yeah. But then when you grow up, you realize like that was the best for me because it changed me and it made me understand the feeling of not having something and then earning it and later on. And obviously now, you know, it's relaxed as I'm older now. So it got to a point where you automatically just relax. But then that taught me the value of money, taught me the value of like having stuff, and that stuff can just go away and, you know, it won't really make a huge difference. That makes sense. Like, you know, that's the thing that you said, that if you lost everything one day, you always know that you can get it again.
You can get
it again. So I guess, but it's difficult though. Like say, like, you know, you're a millionaire, you're living in like a really big house, and your son comes to you like, Dad, give me some money, and then just like, no.
I think that I'll be honest, that'll piss me off. Like, what the fuck do you mean, give me money? Am I a fucking bank to you?
Yeah.
No, man. And this is again, that's where the whole spoiled nature comes from a kid. I mean, if you need money, fair enough. You know, I'm the parent. I'm supposed to be providing you with everything that I can.
Yeah.
But if it's just money to buy some fucking shoes, fuck off.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do that.
Here's the thing, though, like we say this now, but we don't have children.
Exactly, we don't have children.
And you know, the reason that people become like that is because their parents, you know, they love them so much, they don't want them to struggle. Obviously we can't really speak from experience because until we don't actually have kids, and when your son actually or your daughter actually asks you for money, and then in that time where you feel like like that's your own blood, like, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you something, man. Regards to all of this.
Okay.
Would you raise your son and daughter the same? That's.
Will I raise my son and daughter the same? Yes and no. Yes, because there needs to be some sort of, you know, fairness and equality between it. But no, because it's what they're going to experience in their environment.
Yeah.
So I would raise them differently. Like the like how I was raised. I don't have any sisters, to be honest. So like I only ever grew up with my mom, and I've never had like females or like siblings, like even cousins and stuff around me.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I don't have an example for them to know how to raise them.
Exactly.
I would just do it like however I in the moment.
Yeah.
But for myself, I know how I'd raise like my son. But as wrong as it may sound, I will, you know, I would raise the son differently to the daughter. You'd be more protecting towards your daughter. You just would. As much as people might say like, no, you should treat them the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can treat them the same, and obviously you love them the same. But like, there is certain technicalities depending on the environment, depending where you are.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, like if you're, you would generally be more concerned if your daughter was out
Oh, absolutely.
at a late time than your
Yeah.
son, because he's a male and she's a female, and it's dangerous for a woman to be out. As much as people might say, you know, it's controversial. People might say, "Oh no," but you know, we can take care of ourselves and stuff like that. So you know, it's one of those ones, and it's subjective. It's how you want to raise your children, subjective. How you want them to grow up, and how you want them to be, because that makes a huge difference in who they're going to be when they're older as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you, I don't know. What do you think? What's your opinion?
You know what? The reason why I asked you this is because I don't know how much people would want to hear this, but this very controversial name, Andrew Tate, he said something about this. No, Tristan Tate actually said something about this, where he said, I would raise my daughter and son completely differently. Not completely differently. Like you said, yes and no to how they're raised. Raised in the same fairness of, you know, I love you the same. But as a male and female, you're going to be completely different. Like as a female, I'm gonna spoil my my daughter, because that's as a man, as a traditional man, you can call it. I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but as a traditional man, my purpose is to provide and protect for a female.
Yep.
And a female needs to understand that's the role of a man. As a traditional man, that's the role. But as a traditional woman, there's all sort of roles for that too.
Yeah.
You know, where like I can give you a very good example of my girlfriend. She is the prime example of how supportive a woman should be, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur, being with an entrepreneur. Very supportive, understanding, patient, and blindly believe what your man's doing. You can obviously understandable if she would question you, but understanding that there's a role of that supportive nature that I would see my daughter needs to play for herself, her man, whatever it might be. For my son, now I need to teach him the harsh way of making money. And like you said, I'm not going to give anything to my son in the sense of money. I'll give him all the knowledge that he can and give him the push that he needs, and put him in doors and places. Even my daughter, I'll put her in places that, you know, she might want to be. And of course, I'll do whatever she wants to do, in the sense that if she wants to be a businesswoman, go ahead, completely fine. Make your own money. But as a man, you're in my understanding, you're the provider. You're the person that's supposed to be the financial. You're supposed to be the person, the strongest person in the room, every room. Yeah. And of course, I guess the environment that I grew up, I had to grow up and be the man. I had to be the man of the relationship that me and my mom had, in the sense that I had to be strong for her. I didn't cry. I had to switch off my emotions and all of this. So in that sort of sense, for my son, I would make him understand how harsh the reality is to be a man, and what it is to be the provider. And give him, like I said, give him the strength, the knowledge to make money, and be the high value man. Be a high value man. Yeah, build his body, build his financial status, build his connections. I think that's where that's where I'll go with it.
So you do want to teach your son the ways that you basically learned growing up, and that you are using right now in your business. So yeah. Tell us a bit about what it is that you're doing. So the M&A, mergers and acquisitions. What is it? What do you do essentially? Right,
mergers and acquisitions is basically the process of buying a business.
Okay.
Like I can go on. We have a whole team of people that deal source.
Okay.
You know how there's property deal sourcing, there's business deal sourcing as well. You go out there, see what businesses are on market, on websites. Especially in America, it's very easy to find on market websites that actually advertise businesses for sale. And of course, there's a lot of off market places too. But you have to have the right connections and just be persistent in your I guess the pursuit to find the right business that fits the right criteria, financial criteria. So essentially what we are what my company is, Ray Nexus, is a holding company based in Nevada, Las Vegas. We grow our list of investors, grow our list of lenders, understanding what their criteria is, understanding what percentages, like average percentages they work with their loans and I guess investments. And from that point, from understanding what they like to see, what sort of businesses they usually fund, we went to manufacturing. Mm-hmm. Manufacturing businesses are like crazy out there. And then somehow we stumbled upon infrastructure businesses. So, building roads, schools, parking lots, shopping malls, all of that stuff, infrastructure, what you build for the city. And we came across a company in Texas. We purchased it for 13 million. And the reason why we went so high, a lot of people for the first business, they usually go for like a 5-6 figure business because it's smaller. It seems easier to get, but a lot of people don't understand that it's a lot easier to fund bigger businesses.
Yeah.
For smaller businesses, you can find investors here and there, which will be able to invest. From my experience, it's a lot harder to deal with investors that have invested their personal money into a business purchase that they've known a couple months about. Whether with us, the 13 million has come from Saudi Arabia's. We actually work with the board members of the Central Bank of UAE to get these big businesses sorted. And the way we put ourselves in these rooms is, again, being relentless. Like some of these rooms, I'm every Zoom call, every meeting that I have regards to M&A, it's like 50, 60-year-olds, 40-year-olds talking to me about, okay, we can fund you for this amount. We can do this for you. I'm hiring 40, 50-year-olds. So we're hiring, in the process of hiring a COO that'll be will be basically my right-hand man in all of this, making sure our business, or the business within, is structured correctly. The systems are in place, the communication, the organization works in motion with us. Because before it was just myself and my business partner. It was just two of us started this. And now there's 7. That might seem like a small number still, but those 7 people are all executives. They're all very high individuals that already have their own team. So their teams already are working with our business deals. We're actually in the process of funding a couple of other businesses in Latin America and Colombia. One of them being a casino. One of the other businesses that we're actually in the process of purchasing for ourselves is another infrastructure business. Pretty much the same as the first one, but this one's going for 19 million. Now, I had someone comment before, why is Eddy going for these big businesses? I wouldn't even know what to do with these big businesses. I'm like, well, you're not me, bro. I'm built different. I don't want to stop and start with small businesses. I was like, I'd rather see how far I can go instead of starting small like everyone else. I don't like being like everyone else.
Yeah. And
that might make me sound cocky or arrogant. It's really not. It's just a mindset that I've got, and I don't like thinking myself as arrogant. If I do come across that, and I don't know. That's a personal issue. I don't care. But I don't want to be like everyone else. And how do I put myself on a different level? Go for bigger businesses. Go for businesses that already have the management system in place. Everything's already sorted for you. With smaller businesses, with most cases, you have to either manage it yourself. There's a lot of things you have to organize and systemize. To me, that just doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to buy a business, I want to buy a business that I don't want to make another job. I don't want to buy a business I don't want to buy myself another job Is basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I'm buying a business to overlook it. Just be like, all right, you guys are doing well, yeah? You want to grow? Okay, well, what's the plan? What are we doing? What do you want to do? The system's already in there. The two businesses we're trying to purchase, or the first business we purchased and the one business that we're trying to purchase now, the management system is already good. It's been running without the owner for years. For the past 4 or 5 years, for the most recent business, the 3 presidents within the business, they've been running it. And the owner, he's 80 years old. Oh, no, not 80, 86. He's just been coming in, having a coffee, overlooking, making sure everything's running well. He's not doing anything. Why am I going to buy a business that makes me work?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much this makes sense. Of course, there's going to be work with every business where you purchase, but what level of work do you want to put yourself at? And if I'm going to purchase a small business, I feel like there's going to be a lot more work than if I purchase a big business. And yeah, it's going to take a lot more. It could take a lot longer to find the right big business. But you also have to understand, with businesses under 10 million, there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more people going after these businesses, especially in the US. There's a loan called the SBA loan. There's a bunch of different versions of the SBA loan. I'm not going to go into because there's too much to go into. But there's under 5 million. There's one sort of SBA loan that you can go for. With those businesses, you can purchase it rather quickly. Or I say rather quickly, in like 6-9 months, depending how fast the SBA loan works. But there's a lot more paperwork to go through. There's a lot more confirmations that needs to happen before anything comes through. Mm-hmm. And the SBA loan is a government scheme. It's the government lending you money. I'd rather not have that, in the sense that I don't want the government being in full control of my business, because most of them need collateral. And coming from, technically I started M&A with a few £1,000s in my account. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't have any collateral. You have to maybe own a house or have some sort of big funds, 50k or something, 100k, depending on what they want, to put towards this collateral. Because just in case if this business falls through and you can't make the payments, they're gonna have to take something. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want that. And of course, with every loan, there's some sort of collateral. But working with the Saudi Arabians, it's worked out pretty well for us.
Okay.
Works out very well.
So you mentioned that when you started on the M&A, you only had a few thousand. So how did you get from that to buying, to buying the 30 million, 90 million businesses?
A lot of people ask me this. Again, being relentless, putting yourself in rooms, to growing your connections. And again, me and my business partner just didn't stop. Every single day, it's grind. Every single day, waking up at 6, waking up at 5, waking up at 7, whatever it was. There was this ability, there was this understanding that we have to make connections. Mm-hmm. There's some sort of connections that we had to make, or we failed the day. We have to make sure that they were successful and worth our time. Yeah. We just made the right connection.
So you said your organization, Rainexer. So did you you're a founder of it? You created it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Rainexer.
Okay, so that company is the company that acquires other businesses, basically.
Yeah, so it's like a holding company, so they can acquire companies or real estate, any investment opportunities that basically have a big return for the company. So most of these lenders would be not funding us not funding the businesses that we're purchasing. They're funding Rainexer.
Okay.
So, and after that, Rainexer puts the money into use and buys the business. So it's a very simple process when it comes to holding companies.
Yeah.
The best way I can describe it is you yourself, let's say you're the holding company.
Yeah.
Right? And you acquire 2 cars. Now, those cars will be an investment because you can put it on Turo and it just rents out every week. Right? Or then you buy yourself some apartments. Airbnb it. Mm-hmm. Holding companies already those are assets to the holding company. So now you are worth more.
Okay, yeah.
And that's all of it is. It's all about diversification when it comes to M&A. So we're not just going to be purchasing one business. It's constantly growing, whether it's in the same sector, whether it's in the same industry, whether it's in the same part of the world. It doesn't matter. Like we're trying to purchase a few villas and 10 villas in Dubai. Trying to see how many apartments how many apartments we can purchase in Dubai as well for Airbnb purposes, and get Adam's company to manage it for us. So yeah, I think that's the easiest way I can explain a holding company. It sounds stupid, especially when I just said that I started off with a few thousand. Yeah. It cost, how much did it cost? Like 400, 600 or something to start a company out there. Yeah. Get all the documentations, get notarized, because you have to have an office out there too. I haven't got a physical office. It's just what is it?
Virtual office?
It technically is a virtual office, but it's a mailbox, basically, out in Nevada somewhere that collects my letters. And every month they just send letters to either to the address that I've got in the US, my girlfriend's address, or my address out here. Okay. So nothing's physical. We haven't got a physical office. Everything's online. And we actually got a question, right, by one of these brokers, business brokers. They were like, we checked your address. It's not even an office. It's the postal code. Yeah. We're like, well, yeah. Everything's online. All our teammates are all over the world. I'm in London. He's in Texas. This guy's in New York. One's in California. The other one's in Dubai. The other one's in Colombia. We don't need a physical office to make deals happen. If we need to fly out there to do a site visit or sign some paperwork, shake some hands, we'll do that. Mm-hmm. We don't need a physical office for any of this. I mean, I want to have one just because. Yeah. But we technically don't need one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So going back to the starting of it. So obviously, I did mention this already, which was you started off with £1,000 or whatever. Yeah. In terms of the lending, how did that work? How did you finance it towards getting these bigger deals? How does that work? Like, I'm a bit confused by much about it, so.
I would say the best way to start, that I didn't do at the start because I focused on the wrong things. I would say definitely 100% focus on growing your investor list. Okay. Grow and rapport with investors, understanding what businesses or what areas they like to invest into. Because there's a lot you can find online. There's actually a website, and I'm going to be giving you away a freebie here. It's a gold mine out there. It's a website called PitchBooks. PitchBook. Okay. Right. Very expensive. It's got a whole list of lenders, investors, everything you need. All the investments they made previously, how much they invested, what industry they invest in, and when did they invest into this, and how long has this been going on? Have they pulled out the money? Have they not? If we're talking about lenders, that same website would have the lenders. Same thing. What areas they're involved in, what industries they're involved in. How much money do they fund? What sort of percentages average do they work with? What parts of the world do they go into? Is it just the US? Yeah. Is it Canada, Latin America, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Australia, UK? They have that. But we only purchased a list of 20,000 from them. But again, this is where I would start, where try finding investors from that website if you have the funds. Purchase a whole list from them, or go on LinkedIn. There's a lot of angel investors on there. There's a lot of investors in general that know about M&A. They know about business opportunities and investments. Start there. Okay. The way we got funded is through reaching out to lenders every single day. I remember this was in October, December, November last year. every single day it was at least 8 or 9 calls with new lenders every single day. My calendar was completely booked out. And that's I guess that's one of the reasons why we got funded, is because we reached out to the right person. Actually, my business partner reached out to the right person. We started talking, everything's good. And somehow, I want to say we did kind of get lucky with the right person that had the right connection with Saudi Arabians that made the deal work with the percentages that they gave us for the company. I'm not going to say what that is, but it's a lot better than what they give in the UK and the US. And the business that we purchased is a complete gold mine now. It's a massive, massive cash cow from day one. And we don't even have to do anything. I guess the capacity for that business, the business growth, is still at they're still working at 70% machinery, 70% staffing as well. So they've got a lot of growth to be had. The way we got funded is by reaching out, putting ourselves in rooms that we're not even supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And again, that's where the relentless mindset comes in. You understand that this business model, M&A model, is very, very old. So if you started M&A today, you're going to be putting yourselves in rooms or try and get calls with people. All of them are going to be at least 20 years older than you.
Yeah.
At least 15, maybe, if you're lucky. And most of them will judge you straight away because you're younger. And a lot of them did. But I had to show myself in a more professional profile in a sense that I know what I'm doing. So I was studying my documents. I was studying everything about the business, reviewing it, understanding the numbers, understanding how it all works, how would they fund us. I even Googled for days before I even got into any calls with lenders and investors as to what they might ask me. Mm-hmm. Any bit of information as to what they might ask me, or how would I justify me buying this business with no experience in this. And that's where, with everything in M&A, there's always an answer. You shouldn't be stuck without an answer. If you personally don't know it, one of your team members should. So that's again where the investment within your team should be, again, a massive priority. Sorry, I went off a little bit there. How we got funded? The right connections. That's it. Just relentless reaching out to lenders and investors. If you're going to start today, start reaching out to lenders and investors all over the world.
Yeah, but that gives me quite a better understanding of what the process is and how it kind of works. So, I guess for you to get through to break that first barrier down, break that first door down to get the first business, now you have the experience and you know what you need to do. So you just do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly, 100. Yeah.
But the first one is always the most. It's in every business. Like the first is always the most difficult. So you know what? It makes a lot of sense, and you have to put that grind in no matter what it is that you do. But yeah, I hope that's quite beneficial to the viewers listening. If someone is interested,
I hope so.
In getting into M&As, they should definitely
of course,
it.
Man. Yeah. If they have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram. I might reply in a couple 5 to 7 working days. But yeah, man. Okay. Happy to.
Yeah. So one question I wanted to ask you was, okay, so you did touch on before that you want to, give opportunity to those people that, that they show the potential, or just like starting your charity and stuff. So for you, what is your end purpose in life, or your goal? Like, is it monetary? What do you want to accomplish? What legacy do you want to leave behind? That you mentioned about legacy. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
There's a lot of avenues here that we can talk about. Well, business wise,
not business wise, overall.
Wow. The legacy that I want to leave behind is, on my name, is a person that has always been willing to help.
Yeah.
The ones that deserve it. Now, not everyone deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people might hate me on this.
Why do you think that? Why doesn't everyone deserve it?
Not everyone. I've met a lot of time wasters, and I've realized the key attributes, the key traits to the time wasters that I've come across. And again, not everyone's like that. Everyone can change, of course. And I guess I'm always willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, I'm willing to teach you. But if you've learned nothing from what I teach, then me and you aren't gonna be partners or working together at all. The people that I've surrounded myself with now are all hungry for knowledge. Mm-hmm. Damn, the legacy that I want to leave behind. I don't know where to start. Shit, I really don't.
I mean, you mentioned it just now that you want to be known as a person that helps.
Guess,
so is that what's your like higher purpose essentially? Like because you can be an entrepreneur, you can want the success, you can want the money, get the money, but you could keep going through the levels.
Yeah.
And you always want more. That's just how it is. You're never going to get to a point where like, yeah, okay, now I'm going to stop.
You know what?
You'll keep going, but there has to be something behind that as well. Why is that? Because if you just want money, then I don't know.
It's shit. It's never about money, man. Yeah. I guess when you first start as an entrepreneur, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get all this money. No. For me, now I've got a good answer for you. For me, it's like I said, being able to help, being able to give opportunities to people, no matter what age, to I guess get out of the rat race or get out of a financial situation or get out of a mindset. I've been through. I'm not afraid to say this. I've been through therapy, not because there's anything wrong with me, but it's more so that I wanted to find out a little bit more about myself. Mm-hmm. And through that, I was able to help a lot more people as well, mentally, going through some really bad situations. And that made me feel good. I'm like, that time-wise, that cost me a lot, but it was worth every single second because I was able to teach a person or to get them to the next level. Yeah. I guess that's what the legacy is. Yeah. Help people get to the next level, not by scamming any of these fucking pyramid schemes or be fair, direct, and what's the word that I'm trying to look for? Authentic mm-hmm. to people. Whether you like me or not with my mentality or how I may come across to you, that's not my issue. I'm not going to change myself for a person that doesn't like me. If the people that are most important to me say, yo, Eddie, you're being a bit harsh. I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. I'll take that on, but not really think about it. If more than one person told me like, oh, yo, Eddie, like you're being too direct with some people. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what this is. Let me see what how I can benefit other people by changing my mindset a little bit, mm-hmm. shifting myself a little bit. So there's always growth within that. Getting myself to the next level will allow other people to get to the next level as well. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind, is helping people get to the next level, whether it's mindset or financial or physical. Whether you're 18, 30, 40, 50, there's always learning to do. Yeah. As long as you're open-minded to learn from a person like me. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I honestly haven't got anything bad to say.
That's quite a good answer. Yeah, like it's the same for me, man. Like most of the people that I try to get on this podcast is, I want them to have that kind of sense of, why do they do it? Mm-hmm. Like there will be people out there that do it just because they think money or whatever it is. Yeah. But there's like something within you that makes you do that. There's something behind it, something deeper that makes you want to do it. Not mm-hmm. just the money. Money is just like the monetary thing. It makes you better, like lifestyle, gives you the stuff.
Makes it more comfortable, innit?
Makes it more comfortable, yeah. So, that's a very good answer. Like I agree. It's about making a change for someone, and it's
right.
like it is a bit. Well, it's not selfish because it's kind of selfless, but it's also for yourself as well. It makes you feel better. It makes you. But
It's a win-win for both, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I win, you win. What's the problem?
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But in the sense that you might feel, like it's to make myself feel better, but it doesn't matter because you're helping someone else.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Like, of course, you want to make yourself feel better. You want to make them feel better. You want to change their life and give them the right tools. So then, you want them to be better than you were or than you are. And then when you see that, it's like, I help them. They've created that change, and that's your legacy. That's your impact. It's like what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Like a wave, like a chain reaction, or like a wave, like something small. It's like a wave, like a wave in a pond or something. You chuck a rock, it's gonna flash, and then the waves are gonna come out 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's come from a little thing.
I know what you're saying. It's on the top of my head.
It's gone like really far. It's like a.
Oh my god! I know what you're saying now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it now.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. It's like ripple effect.
The ripple effect. That's it. Exactly.
Ripple effect. You start small. You drop the little stone in the pond, and that goes. And then that's the thing with that is, you change this person's life, and because what you done for them and you taught them stuff, and it's what changed their mindset or improved their mindset, whatever it is, they've now got that in them.
Mm-hmm.
They go on to other people.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like a ripple effect, and it's like a tree. Like start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's multiplying like bacteria.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you wanna have that like running through the person, that kind of energy, that kind of sense of awareness and being.
Yeah.
There's nothing like more fulfilling than that, really. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have to say one thing on that. I read a lot of books. One of my favorite books is The 48 Laws of Power.
Mm-hmm.
One of the laws of power is something about, Jesus, now I forgot what the law is. Basically, don't outshine the master.
Mm-hmm.
If I teach you, in the book it says that the master, if you outshine me now, I'm going to become bitter and jealous, and I'm not going to want to work with you. I'm going to close doors for you because you're becoming bigger, and I see the potential you're going to be bigger. That's where the most crucial bit for a person, let's say in my position, would be that I can't become like that. I always have to keep myself in check. All the people that are involved within Ray Nexus, in my life in general, I make sure that they make sure that I'm in check with myself and how I act with other people. Because if I start acting with my ego driving first, then I'm not going to be a very helpful person.
Yeah. It's not.
And this is where a lot of people lose themselves, especially these, I guess, mentors, big people, not just in M&A, in property, in crypto, wherever it may be. That's where they can lose themselves, where they only give certain opportunities for his students or the person that they're trying to teach, because if a better opportunity comes along, they will take it.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be better for your student to get that. And of course, that makes sense. I see this opportunity, I'm going to get it. But if your student found it, or your student came across this and you start saying to them, no, I wouldn't do that. But you know in your head, you absolutely would if you were in their position.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not right.
Mentality of a coach, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's being a CEO of a company as well. I have to be a leader, not a boss. Mm-hmm. If I'm a boss, I'm delegating my work to people and just saying, do this, do that, do this, and what the fuck am I doing? I have to keep myself accountable as much as possible, making sure that I'm either doing the same amount of work or more. And it's usually always more, because I have to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm leading with if I'm leading with energy, if I'm leading with the thirst for understanding, if I can't give them an answer, then they'll brush off on them. Mm-hmm. And like I said, if I'm going to teach someone, understand that I will always put the opportunities that you come across, even every idea that you come across, as important as possible. Not everyone does that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name any names, but I've heard a lot of stories from people overseas that that give people 40% of the blueprint.
Yeah.
To make sure they rely on them for the other 60 to continue paying the money.
Okay.
That's not it.
That's not right, man. That's the selfish. Sorry.
I'd rather make money by buying businesses and buying property, not making other people pay money. Of course, if it's a mentorship, I'll make you pay money.
Yeah.
But I need to make sure that my material is good enough for you to buy a business or to get into property, where it might be, and be better off.
Yeah.
Give you the full loadout, because I don't need anyone to rely on me.
Yeah.
For knowledge and all of that. Yeah, it's a good cash cow. If I've got you and 10 others paying me, say, £1,000 a month,
mm-hmm.
that's great. That's a lot of money for me coming in. But I don't know. Morally, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to do that.
So the interesting thing is, what we discussed earlier, environmental and genetics or ingrained in you. So having that kind of thing where knowing the difference between, obviously, I guess most people will be self-aware of what they're doing if they like scamming someone. They'll know deep inside. Maybe not everyone. They might be so delusional to the level that they don't.
Oh, I've met those delusional people. Trust me.
But so, what do you think in terms of this? How you and me maybe, where we just want to be selfless. Like if I had a student, I had 10 students, I want them all to be better than me. I don't care if they're...
Exactly.
I want them all to be better. I want them. It's not like I don't mind or whatever. I actually want them to be better than me. That's how I'll know I've done the right job and I've taught them the right things and they go on to be whatever they are. So is that ingrained in you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I again, money puts you in a very comfortable position so you can do whatever you want. But helping others makes me feel so much better inside. That money just doesn't give the right oomph, if that makes sense. Yeah. It just doesn't. It just doesn't hit the same if you're helping someone and you've helped them and got them out of a sticky situation or just any situation in that matter. Knowing that you helped them feels a lot better than fucking buying yourself a Rolex. Yeah. It's a materialistic thing that you're just going to have on your wrist and people are going to be like, oh, that's a nice watch. And they're just going to forget after a few seconds that you have it. Yeah. Helping someone, like you said, it has the ripple effect.
It's a lifetime thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, he helped me. He brought me in the first place. Yeah.
And even a lifetime is more like a generational thing.
It's a generational thing, yeah.
Forever. But so the thing about it being ingrained, like, do you think it's ingrained in every single person? Because technically, if you think about it, if it's not ingrained in every single person, you can go to someone and try to teach them how to. If you coach them and then you teach them your ethics and morals, they're not going to buy into it if it's not ingrained to them. But do you think it's ingrained in every human or not?
I think every human has the ability to learn a new trait. Yeah. Understanding how to be morally good, how to be helpful. Okay. Some people choose to ignore that.
But is that a trait or is it? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's wired. It's either wired in you or it's not. But
I honestly don't know how to answer that. With the people that I'm surrounded by, they have that trait. Yeah. But I've also come across a lot of people that don't. Yeah. Even that common sense, they haven't got common sense. And common sense is common. It's supposed to be common. Yeah. And I just don't understand how some people think. Mm-hmm. It has me baffled sometimes. Yeah. How they also speak about one thing, but they do the opposite. I'm like, where's your mindset going? How are you thinking about this, but not doing this? I'm not going to give any examples actually, because that might be a bit too bait. But I don't think it's ingrained.
Mm-hmm. I disagree.
You think?
But that's me coming from the perspective of seeing the best in everyone, giving them the benefit of the doubt that you mentioned.
That's true.
Like
that's true. Yeah.
To a certain degree, it is ingrained in everyone. Maybe it's more in you. Maybe it's more in me. It might be like 2% in someone else.
Well, like I said, they choose to not see certain things. Yeah.
They do have the capability.
Yeah.
Of doing it. I feel like everyone has the capability of doing it. So that's the thing that we are trying to create, the ripple effect. If there's one person creating the ripple, or hundreds, millions of people creating that ripple effect, eventually in a utopia world, everyone will buy into it and everyone could be like that.
Yeah.
Obviously it's never going to happen, but it's the starting to change within yourself, like changing yourself and changing the people around you, or trying to benefit those. So I do think it's ingrained to a certain degree in people, but depending on the environment, how they were brought up, the people that are surrounded myself, they've gone so far from it that it's going to take a lot of effort for them to come back to the point where they need to be, you know what I mean? Like they will have that morally ethic way of being selfless and not being egomaniac, basically.
You know what? I'm gonna go back on my statement, and I absolutely agree with you. The best example I've got of that is one of the most important people in my life right now is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
When I met her, she was a completely different person to what she is now.
Okay.
And
how long ago?
Oh man, it's coming up to like 2.5 years now. During lockdown.
Okay. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things.
Not that long. And the fact that she was able to learn so much and change herself completely by either asking me questions or me teaching her or making her understand certain moral things or the common sense of how to act in a certain way. And of course, I always keep myself in check, like I said. But yeah, so she's the best example that I can give. Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone has that ingrained in themselves. But it could be the environment and the people that they choose to hang around with, because then, of course, like I said, if you hang around 5 losers, you're going to be the 6th one.
Yeah.
If you hang around people that like to go clubbing and clubbing every day and smoking weed or doing drugs or any other drugs, then you're going to become like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you start hanging around a higher level person, which fortunately for my girlfriend, I'm going to say this right now, she's very fortunate to have me. In that situation, I got her into a completely different mindset. But we said this before. Grow in a relationship, it's very important to understand your partner. Because I've been through a lot with the exes that I had or the girls that I was with. I understood, not every woman's obviously the same, but I understood certain traits of women that I'm like, okay, if you're acting like this, then I know sort of what to expect. And of course, that's with men as well. I'm not just saying this about women. With her, I was like, okay, I see the patterns. It's all about patterns in people. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of patterns. Yeah. And it's mainly through all the books that I read. I'm like, especially with 48 Laws of Power, patterns in every single person. Every law is a pattern of a certain person. And with her, I was like, okay, no. Some traits aren't as strong as they should be. Let's just give an example of like just the morality of certain things. Or even like, she used to be a massive shopaholic. Yeah. And I always bring this up. I'm like, remember when you were a shopaholic and now you're not? She never used to think about finances like that. She used to get, the money and she used to spend it just like everyone else in a rat race, you can call it. Yeah. And then I gave her the opportunity to understand financials, how it all works, get her into that mindset. It took a while, but now every time she goes shopping, she thinks about, do I really need this? There's a thing we go by, our needs and our wants. If we put shoes, let's say, I like your shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
If we put shoes in the need, is there really a need? Let's really rethink this. If it's for an event or if it's to go with your outfit, those are two different things. For an event, it's a need because you might not have the pair of shoes that you have.
Yeah.
If it's just for an outfit or you like the way they look, it's a want.
Yeah.
If it's buy myself a coffee, simple stuff like that. Do I really need it? Or do I want it? I want it.
Yeah.
Buy myself a plane ticket to go see her in California. That's where she lives, I should have said. To California, 11-hour flight. Do I need it or do I want it? We, at the start of a relationship, we didn't see each other for 10 months. 10 months in lockdown. So we didn't even have an opportunity to see each other. The first time we actually established that we were like, we need to see each other. It was getting harder.
Yeah.
That became a need. It wasn't even a want. So that opportunity to understand what needs and wants are was very solidified in our relationship. So new traits, not that you can learn them, you can learn how to increase the level of certain traits.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's the level of the traits, you know, like good and bad traits.
Yeah.
Everyone has a certain level. Your bad traits might be up here, good traits all the other way around.
Yeah.
But as you said, like if you're going out every weekend, smoking, whatever, doing whatever, like drugs and but like things that are not associated with the being relentless and you know the productiveness, because it's not productive. I mean,
exactly.
If you enjoy it, whatever, but like most people might see it as like a bad trait, to being like that, especially if you haven't got to where you need to get to. So yeah, I was literally just thinking about that just before you said it. So like the levels, it's like you know how you have on the or on the mic thing right now, where the levels are going up and down, and you have like, what is it, like treble, bass, and all that kind of stuff. It's like that's your traits. One's up, one's down. Yeah. You know, you can change it to the levels. That's why it is like the good traits, the bad traits. Good traits gonna be up here. Your bad traits gonna be up here, wherever it is. But they're all there. Like they're all there for everyone. All those like kind of like basic traits, human traits. But it's just about what level they are. Your trait for, you know, being morally right in the sense, but being moral is like subjective. A lot of the things. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like in that sense, the good trait might be down here, or like the patience you might have, or you mentioned about your girlfriend, like patience, and then the shopaholic thing was like up here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then because she met you, and then through you, and then like the changes in the environment around her, it started changing. That's why I feel like it's ingrained in everyone, and it's about your environment and what changes you make in yourself. But you can always reach that level where you're changing it to the better.
Exactly.
Like for every single person, it might take someone 5 years, it might take someone 5 months, it might take them their whole life to do that change. But I feel like it's possible in everyone.
You know what? I've never actually thought about it like that. So that's why I changed my answer. Yeah. Because I started thinking about it differently. But yeah, no, absolutely agree. Everyone has those traits. It's just that certain level. Yeah. You might be at level 1 with understanding financials, and I might be at level 10. Yeah. But you can easily understand financials if you just learn and grow your knowledge through books, through courses, through mentorships. And that level of financial understanding is going to grow. Yeah. And I guess the morality, yeah. I guess that trait can also grow, but you have to be, I guess it's very subjective, like you said, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, I think you can be ingrained to you. For example, like if you look at the most pretentious people that you might have heard of or know, whatever, like, I'm not going to say anyone's name, but like if you like look at these kind of people, or if you meet someone like that, if you go deeper into the story, there might be something that made them like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Story where why have they turned out like this? There might be something, and it's about them, if they want to get back to the point where their morality and their good traits are, you know, like going up, and then that kind of thing is coming down. And I feel like if they want to, they can do it if it's possible. There's always something. There's always a deeper meaning, because you never really know on the face. You know, on the face of someone, you can't tell what story you've got behind them, what it is. Everyone's has their own thing. But yeah, definitely, I think we see eye to eye on that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
It's something that I didn't really think about before until speaking to you now. But yeah.
I guess in that sort of sense, just to expand it, just to think about it another way, a person that's lazy and gets up late during the day, let's say an entrepreneur, a lazy entrepreneur, if those exist, I think they do. They do exist. Entrepreneurs just like to delegate their work a lot to other people, like VAs. But it's like getting up in the morning, innit? You choose whether you want to get up whenever you want to and go to sleep really late, or get yourself into a different shift of sleeping pattern to wake up earlier, to have a longer day period. I guess to get ahead of your competition, you can call it, if you get up at 5 a.m. And this is one of the big reasons why I started getting up rather early, is because of the 5 a.m. club. The 5 a.m. club would definitely help me get the discipline of waking up at a certain time, going to sleep at a certain time. Now that's sort of out the window because my girlfriend lives obviously in California while I'm in London right now. So there's an 8-hour difference between us. Yeah. So when she finishes work and goes to the gym and comes back, she calls me and it's around like 4 or 5 a.m. And that's every day. And of course I'm like, oh, I have to get up. I've got my duty as a boyfriend to give my girlfriend attention. And I want to, of course. I want to give her attention. But that has messed up my body clock. It can mess up my body clock if I don't keep discipline to that. Yeah. So now I go to sleep at like 10, have that 6-7 hours of sleep, which work better for me. Get up, and then by the time she goes to sleep at like 8, my day starts. That's pretty much it, man. Growing those level of traits is, like I said, it's just like getting up in the morning, whether you want to wake up late, which in most cases is sort of like a bad trait because you're missing most of your day. Yeah. I say late by like 12, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m., 2 p.m. That's late. That's half your day gone already. Or you want to have a good discipline of waking up in the morning and going to the gym, meditating, doing your affirmations. If you read a book, have your coffee, get ready for work. Yeah. I think that's a good trait.
I agree, yeah.
Briefly talk about something she brought up to me is going from a low value man to a high value man was like night and day for her. It was really hard. And at that point I was like, I don't understand this. What do you mean it was hard? It was just being with another person. It was like, no, it was hard because you have a different view of life that I'm used to. I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, she said to me, there has been times where she's been intimidated by me. I'm like, what do you mean by intimidated? Like, well, your knowledge and experience and understanding your view of the world and how you see me, how you analyze people, it can be scary because I don't know if what I'm doing is wrong or right. Yeah. Because at every, let's say there's something that she done that I didn't think it was very respectful, or she might have said something that might have upset me. My emotional side switched off and logical side came in, which is something I had to change with her. My emotional side switched off, logical side switched on. And I was like, why would you say this? If you said this, then you must mean this. And she was like, well, yeah. I'm like, why? And she couldn't answer that. I was like, maybe the reason why you said this is because, or done this is because that's what you were used to. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're, the guys you were with before, they let it slide, or you didn't respect them enough to make that change. Or maybe they just didn't have the psychological understanding of how to handle a situation like that. And psychologically, it was hard for her to deal with me because I'm always like on shit. Yeah. And for me, I'm like, I enjoy analyzing people because then I can understand how to approach you. Like I've through our text and just now, or not now, but like through this podcast, I'm analyzing the way you speak, the way you approach the podcast in general, like the types of questions you're asking me and the type of energy you're putting out. Some people might see it as a bad thing. I see it as I want to be the best version of myself for you.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, same thing. If you're doing something that makes no sense to me, I have to understand why you're doing it before me approaching you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, right now, if you, we will go, I was leaving and, I don't know, you told me to fuck off, find your own way back home. Let's say you brought me, you took me, you picked me up from like Birmingham New Street, and you brought me here, and you told me to fuck off. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, cool. That's interesting. I didn't expect that, but analyzing people would make me prepare for how the types of people they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that might be psychotic. But again, the books that I've read, like the 48 Laws of Power, another book is Rejection Proof, which again made me understand the power of being told no. And how to analyze those people, what would make them say no to me. And that all comes down to me being prepared for the questioning. And if they say no to it, no to something, it's most likely my fault because I wasn't prepared. And I wasn't fully anticipating it. So with her, from what she's told me, being with a high value man is a massive change, but long term, short term it was hard. Long term, you see the benefits. The woman that she was, the person that she was 2.5 years ago, and the person that she is now is completely different. And I admire that completely. And that's why I love, one of the biggest reasons that made me fall for her even more is because that she put in that work. She put in that, she understand what she needed to change. And if there's something I need to change, I had to do it because that's my priority. If there's something that she doesn't agree with, like with my emotional switch off, switch on, I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to approach the situation differently. Same thing with business. She didn't like hearing the bad news of like, oh, we're delayed. Oh, this is not going right. Oh, this person's pissing me off. Oh, this person's doing this and that. She didn't like hearing that. And we were like, maybe I'll just not tell you everything. I'll just tell you the good stuff. And technically for us, it actually worked. Okay. I get to do my work and I'm actually less stressed because if something happens and is bad, I'm stressing about how she would react.
Okay, yeah.
You know? So again, those things we had to change in the relationship. And yeah, she's honestly an amazing person. And she actually made my whole M&A journey so much easier. Because again, she was there for me emotionally. Especially with long distance. Oh my God, it's terrible. Yeah, and honestly, like right now it's 4 p.m. coming up to 4 p.m. She would just be getting up right now, and our day's nearly done.
Yeah,
I know.
It's crazy to think about.
It is crazy, man. It is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it work, you make it work, man. That's the thing. And you know, as you said, she's changed so much in those 2.5 years, and you've changed probably. Well, obviously,
I have to.
As well.
Yeah,
you have to. You know what I mean? So. It's just be willing for that change.
Yeah.
Like I discussed on the last podcast with Leon, he mentioned how like obviously entrepreneurs find it difficult to find the partners because it's the society and the normal people. There's nothing wrong with being normal, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But it's about finding the difference. And obviously you said she went from being normal and speaking to low value men and then speaking to you is like a big jump.
Yeah.
But she knew the benefits of it and she knew like internally how, and she bought into the vision that you had.
Yeah,
that's the most important
absolutely.
thing. If she never bought into the vision at the start, there's no way she would change towards what she is now.
Exactly.
She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't want to do it, and she wouldn't naturally do it. But because she bought into the vision, it kind of forced her to change.
Exactly. It wasn't easy, of course.
Exactly.
You should always say
it's never easy, but you know, it's just one of those things. The most important thing, looking at it from the outside, and the big picture is both people buying into the same vision.
Yeah.
Once you buy into the same vision, you can figure everything else out, working towards that same goal. If you're not aligned on that, then that's how relationships don't work, in my opinion. So
absolutely,
especially for entrepreneurs, that's the topic that we're on. So like that's just why I think, like, you know, you have to obviously have the sacrifices like in any other relationship, normal relationship as well. But for entrepreneurs, it's in that vision. Vision. If you have that person supporting you, and then that elevates you in your business, and everything that you do, it helps you, and, you know, grows yourself because you have that person there. Obviously, you could probably, most people can still do it on their own, but you might not reach the heights that you would with someone, because it's more powerful being in the two than being as a lone wolf, in my opinion. So
as a high value man, and I want to, you know, say I'm a high value man, even, you know, there's always things I want to change and all that, but a woman, the right woman, gives you the strength that by itself is hard to get. I've been single in business during business, and it was good. No one's bothering me. I can do my work and I can do whatever. But when I met the right woman, the right woman, man, my energy shot through the roof. Mm-hmm. I'm getting up like even though I slept for like 3 hours, I'm getting up like I slept for 12. I'm getting up with a new vision of, and a new understanding of how I need to be, one, as a man, two, as a businessman, how I need to provide, and also the decisions I need to make. And those decisions, ever since I've been with her, I don't know, man, it's just been a lot smarter, because I know that I know that she's there for me. Mm-hmm. We can talk about it. She can tell me if it's a bad idea or not. And if she thinks it's a bad idea, I'll let her know my mindset. And if then she says, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, go for it. Mm-hmm. That one little bit, man, that puts a drive like I've never had before. And I'm not saying that every man should rely on a woman, or a woman should rely on a man, but I do think that the right partnership gives you another sense of energy. Yeah. Like Leon, him and Libby have been together for like 8-9 years or something, right? Yeah. They're crazy. A power couple. They're crazy. They're always on it. And from my understanding, from what I see on Instagram and when I met them, they are in sync with everything they're doing. It's amazing.
Crazy, yeah.
It is crazy. But like I said, when you find the right partner, everything just seems clear. And I can't describe it until you actually you meet the right person. And it's really hard to meet the right person. It's so hard, especially as an entrepreneur. Being in this world, for a woman, it's hard to understand. It might be hard to understand, and might be hard to be in. The patience, the blind belief. It's hard to find a woman that can be like that. Like when I told Francine, my girlfriend's name is Francine, I should say, that I'm doing M&A, she was like, "What is it?" I'm like, "Oh, buy a business." Just buying businesses, I don't know. I learned more and more of it, and she did say that she saw the drive in me and understood the opportunities, and she was like, "Well, I'm going to support you financially, if that was needed, mentally the most." Yeah. The support of all just words that the right woman can give you, it will elevate you. Yeah. It make you feel like you're fucking flying.
Yeah, it's been an interesting conversation. I'm pleased to have you down here. Came just all the way just to see me.
Just to see you, bro.
But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for coming down. It was an amazing conversation. Hopefully very beneficial to our listeners and viewers. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into our podcast today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are interested in learning more about Eddy, you can give him a follow on his Instagram. I will leave it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, or in the description on Spotify. But yeah, appreciate you coming down, man.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and follow us if you're streaming. If you're listening on a streaming platform. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.